Why do you think you attracted Wade into your life? If it was left up to you, how fast would they put Wade to death? What would be your choice of execution? Do you take any responsibility for moving him in so quick? Or do you think that women hate you because you've actually experienced something that they want, which is Wade? What do you say to the people who say that you're just in this for attention and that you just crave and love the attention? And can you rule out HIV? Hey, Kelly,
Hey,
how have you been since we last spoke?
good.
Been okay?
Yeah.
A few days ago, Wade was sentenced to death. Where were you when you first found out that he was sentenced to death?
I was driving in my car listening to Jumpsuit Pablo's live coverage of it.
You were so stoic in the last interview, so I'm like, I don't know what her reaction would be, but I just pictured you to just like be at work, doing your pet grooming, and then all of a sudden running into the restroom and then crying and sliding down the wall. Was it one of those? Or
I screamed and like bounced up and down in my seat because I was excited.
I feel until you're in the shoes of a victim or a victim's family, you never know how you will react. So
Yeah.
I always reserve judgment when it comes to that sort of thing. So what do you have to say about people who are angry that you are happy that Wade got the death?
Like the same thing that you were saying, like until you've been in that situation and you come so close to thinking that your life is going to be taken from you, then I don't think you can really say how you would feel because before that, I probably wouldn't have thought that I would be for it. But, it's after seeing what he's done to so many other people, there's no fixing him. So, I mean, it's realistically the most humane thing to do. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck in a 6 by 6 cell for the rest of his life by himself.
So you think the most humane thing to do is to euthanize him like a dog?
Yes. Like, do you want him just sitting in a cell by himself for the next 60 years? Or, if he was in general population, he would not make it very long.
If it was left up to you, how fast would they put Wade to death?
I wish that they would do it sooner than later just so that this is all over with.
If it was left up to you, what would be your choice of execution?
I was actually talking about this with a friend of mine because in like Idaho or something, they just brought back the firing squad, which I think is amazing. Um, but you're like, why am I interviewing this girl? But I kept saying that I think all of his victims should get to like stone him to death. Give me a brick and let me throw it at him. Like,
You want him to suffer.
I feel like anybody, not just him, anybody that does something like that to women, children, innocent people should suffer. Because, like, why are we letting them get the easy way out where they get 3 meals a day? He gets a TV in his cell. He can write and respond to people. Like, that's not real. It's a punishment, but it's not really a punishment. Like, there's homeless people that don't get 3 meals a day. Watch,
If you could say one last thing to Wade, what would that be?
bye. Just I don't even know what I would say to him. I have nothing to say to him. He's a trash human.
Have you been reading the comments under our last video?
No, I have not. Should
You
I?
haven't? You
No.
haven't read any of them?
Uh,
Do you take any responsibility for moving him in so quick or falling for his lies.
A lot of that where they're like, well, why didn't you do this or this? And like, I was young and dumb. I let some guy I didn't really know move in with me. Until you're in it, you can't really say anything because I was always the one that was talking to all my friends, like, don't move in with that guy like you just met him, or how could you get married? You just met him. And then I did the same thing. And I was like, oh, duh.
Think that
So
something happened earlier on in life, or did anything happen to make you be attracted to that? Or do you think that it was just like bound to happen? Or why do you think you attracted Wade into your life?
I don't know because if you look at how it played out, it seems like I had like a trauma in my life, but I didn't. I had a great childhood, great parents. They're still together. I went to Catholic school. Like I got good grades. I never had any trauma in my life aside from like the dentist. So I don't know why I constantly ended up with shitty felons that like had nothing in their life. Like they had nothing.
Was Wade the first, or was he just one of many?
He was the first like bad one. I had dated somebody which I talked about on like a post years ago that all these crazy Wade wives are bringing up again, thinking I went to visit Wade in jail.
Mhm.
Um, and I've never visited him. It was an ex-boyfriend from when I was a kid that when I met him, he was in prison. And like we never actually like hung out outside of prison because that's where he spent like the majority of his life.
So
Um,
why are these women thinking that it's Wade that you're visiting and not this?
because they're dumb and they're like, oh look, she said she's going to a visitation at a jail. It must be him.
Do you think that women hate you because you've actually experienced something that they want, which is Wade?
That's what my friend thinks. That they're like jealous that they didn't get to experience him and that like his ex-girlfriend Courtney that is suddenly pro Wade didn't get beat up by him and she is like trying to make that her whole personality. Like, well, he didn't hit me. Like, are you jealous that he didn't hit you? I don't understand because you can have that if you want. Like, I don't want that. Yeah, I kind of think they're like low key mad that I like got to be with him, which
What do you say to the people who say that you're just in this for attention and that you just crave and love the attention and that that's why you're doing interviews?
I'm not really an attention type of person. I want to do it to get the story out there that sometimes when you are in an abusive relationship and you get out, the cops believe you and everything goes right. And sometimes it doesn't, but you can get out and you can do better. Like, I was in such a low back then, but I'm doing great now. Like, I'm in a healthy relationship and I have a nice house and I'm
Did you meet him on Plenty of Fish?
absolutely not. I will never use that.
After Wade, did you meet any other guys on Plenty of Fish?
No, I think I deleted that because that website was just full of like shitty.
A lot of people commented about your tattoo on our last interview. What is your tattoo? What is your chest piece? What is it going on there?
It's a ram skull, so I collect like skulls and moths and dead stuff because I'm weird. So it's nothing weird or demonic. I've had people ask if I'm an Aries or if I like worship
I thought
Satan.
you were, yeah, I was like, but she's not an Aries. I think she's a Pisces, but I thought you were an Aries for a minute too. Yeah.
Like, no, I just like dead stuff. I'm weird.
Have you spoken to any of the other victims since the sentence
Yeah,
was read?
I talked to Mila today. I talked to his baby mama a couple days ago, like when he got sentenced. I talk to them pretty regularly.
So what was Mila's, how did she feel about it?
She was happy, very happy.
Have you spoken to Chris?
Oh yeah, I actually uh texted him because we were trying to set up a video call thing with Bunny and all this other stuff, and I told him like he got the death.
What did Kingston's mother have to say? For everyone who doesn't know, Kingston is Wade's son. So what did Kingston's mother have to say about it?
Same thing. Long time coming. Very happy. Like, feels like a relief.
Speaking of Kingston's mother, I know that she's, um, from my understanding, still like really traumatized by a lot of things that have happened.
Hmm.
And in our last video, you mentioned STDs. And if you read the comments, which a lot of people were kind of like angry at me because I said, because of HIPAA laws, I don't want you to say this or that. And they were like, you don't have to abide by HIPAA laws. This is not work, and this is not this, and this is not that. And so there's like so many comments speculating on what STDs Wade has. Can you rule out HIV?
Yes, it's not that.
Okay, okay. And this is like, can you rule out herpes?
No,
Can you rule out hepatitis?
no.
Okay. Can you rule out HPV?
I don't know if he has that one.
Okay. This is the question that I wanted to ask you the last time that I spoke with you. And I was so angry at myself for forgetting to ask you this question. Do you think that Wade, prior to the two women that he was convicted of killing?
I do. Um, One point in our relationship, I found men's clothing and a crowbar in the back of my car. And when I had asked him about it, he was like, "Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it," which I thought was really weird. And the day that I tried to take him to rehab, when all that stuff happened, he threw the crowbar in the woods and was like, "I'm just going to get rid of this." And I told the police, because I was like, "This is weird. This is suspicious. Like, I know where it is. I can show you or drop it on a map or whatever," but nothing ever came of it. But
So the police have failed you all around. The police failed
yeah.
you when you were assaulted and beaten. And you are telling the police that you think that you can send them to a location
Hmm.
where items that might have been used in a crime
Yeah.
were, and they ignored you again.
Yep.
Do you still remember where these items were?
Yeah. It's across the street from the rehab in Boynton Beach.
Kelly Matthews is telling you that she thinks that Wade Wilson has killed before. And one night, Wade came home with some items that he hid in the woods, and she still remembers where those items are. What do you have to say about Wade telling Mila you knew I was a killer?
He probably did. I I don't doubt it. I think he had a few moments where he probably blacked out and did something terrible and just went about his day.
You were intimate with Wade, so when you're intimate with someone, you know them in a way that the rest of the world, obviously doesn't. Looking at his face when he was sentenced to death, what do you think Wade was thinking?
I think he's scared. He swallowed a lot. He blinked a lot, which makes me think he was trying to hold back some tears. Um, I think he was scared. I think he honestly thought that he might get life, and it didn't go that way. And I think that's scary for him.
What do you have to say to all the women who still love Wade?
I don't know. Get in line. There's thousands of them. They're never gonna see him. He's not allowed visitors once he's on death row. We don't get conjugal visits in Florida. Um, you're just gonna be writing letters to somebody for the rest of his life, and if that's what they want to do, whatever. But I've had women message me asking if I can write letters to him for them because they live in like Brazil or something. And I look at their page and I'm like, you have a husband and children. Like, I'm going to go tell them because you're nuts.
Speaking of passing along information, can you please give Mila my information? I would love to speak with her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. The last video, when you told me that Wade put your Alexa in the freezer, a lot of people thought that you meant that he had put your dog in the freezer. Were you aware of that?
No, I have to go read these comments.
Yeah, like there's this whole conversation going on down in the comment section. So, ladies and gentlemen, Kelly's dogs are fine. He did not put the dogs in the freezer. Her Alexa, she
My
means her
little,
electronic device.
the little thing
Right.
that, hey Alexa, that thing.
So, Kelly, is there any one final thing that you want to say to the audience?
I don't know,
Yeah.
just you guys for supporting me and Benji, and it means a lot to have people on my side and not as much on Wade's. And I just want to help people, you know. I just want to help people get out of those types of situations.
Well, Kelly, I hope you have a great holiday weekend. Thank you so much for your time. And I'll check in on you every so often to see how you're doing. How's that sound?
That sounds good. Thank you.
That sounds good. All
Yeah.
right. You have a great night, Kelly.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye bye.